Hey guys, a video here on how I like to flip NFTs using the most simple strategy, which is basically just bidding below the floor on a higher level, on a mass bidding level, basically. You do this simply by using our software. You go into add new bid, you put in the collection you want to bid on, add in your wallet, any information here, you can have as many as you want, put in your lowest bid and your highest bid, and it's going to basically bid between this range and outbid anyone that has where the bid is between this range. This is by how much you want to outbid by. It could be as little as 0.001. And expiration time, yeah, pretty obvious. This is in hours. So I like to keep the bids between 1 to 3 hours because there's basically a lot of bidders out there. And if you put it for 10 hours, 12 hours, or 2 days even, you're just going to get outbid and your Ethereum is not going to do anything. You can bid by token range or by rarity. I really like, well, if you subscribe to a bronze tier, you have access to the by token range. And if the collection has 10,000 tokens, you basically can just leave it at that and it will bid on everything in the collection. If you have the gold tier by rarity, you can actually put in, I only want to bid on the most common one. So that would be 5,000 to 10,000. This is an amazing strategy that will make your wrapped Ethereum much more effective because you're basically not bidding on the rarest ones that also tend to never get accepted because people know they're worth more than under the floor price, which is what you're bidding. So this is something that just allows you to be way more effective. By Rarity is actually a sophisticated system. We scrape rarity.tools and we put everything together, compile it in a database. So you actually have access to bidding on, I only want to bid on the top 1,000 or whatever you want to do. So that's another conversation. We'll go through that in a different video. So you can set up your bids in here. It's super easy. But the question you might be thinking about is, how do I know which collection to bid on and how do I know how much to bid? Well, let's go through that now. What tools do I like to use to analyze what collections to bid on? I really like Compass. It's a free tool and has a lot of great stats. I really like that, and you will go through a few things I like to look at. If you have a bit more money, you can use Nansen, which is amazing. They have something called NFT God mode. In here, you can put in any collection and you can see so much useful data, like how many people are holding their NFT for less than a day and for 7 days and so on. Basically, I'm looking at these stats a lot because it means that there are a lot of paper hands if these stats are really high. If you took a look at, say, CryptoPunks, you would basically see like here there's like 1% and less than 1% here because nobody is flipping a CryptoPunk. Everybody's holding it for a long time. So hodlers is a really cool area to look at. You can look at the balance of diamond hands as well. So that's the total amount of NFTs belonging to people who's never sold anything. And if if the collection has a lot of diamond hands and it's going up, it means that no one is accepting bids, and that's not good. You actually want to see this curve. You want it just to go down like that. That means people are accepting bids and getting rid of their stuff. The last one I really like, this is my favorite tool for a lot of just quick analysis. It's called flips.finance. And I love it because it loads really quickly and it's very easy to see everything. I loaded up Hape here as well. And one of the first things I look at, the very first thing I just go to OpenSea, I go to rankings, and I just look at all the collections, right? There are tons. And I might go with something where I feel like I'm getting a lot of value for my money. If you have 10 Ethereum in your wallet and you're bidding on a Suki, well, if you bid on just 1,000 of them, then you're already used up all your all your balance, and you cannot bid on anything else because OpenSea has a 1,000x balance limit for how much you can bid on. But if you were bidding on something for one Ethereum, then you would be able to bid on way more, obviously, because each bid is so low. So you really have to look at how much value do you get for each bid, right? There has to be an amazing opportunity for you to take advantage of Azuki, because otherwise you're going to get way more bids out by submitting bids on something that's way lower, right? So let's take a look here. I might have something that just pops out, and then I'll take a look. I'll check out hype bears as well, maybe Sipsies. Something that's not too expensive is for me the way to go, because I don't want to waste my bids, as I just said. So I'll just open up a few just so we can check them out as well. And also from my experience, I've done so much spotting. I know exactly which collections are stable, which ones will hold their price, and which ones are declining and won't do well in the future. So if we look at high bears right here, we see right now the bid is the floor price is 0.33. The first thing you want to do is actually see, is there any profit to be made in the collection? This is the first thing you want to check. And once you check that, you could add them to a Google Sheet for further analysis, right? So you go in here in activity, you go under bids, and you just want to see what people are bidding. We can see right now that there are bids coming in over here. You can see when they were submitted the last time. And you can see right now the bids are around 0.2 or 0.18. So that's what people are bidding right now. And if you want to win something, you have to bid higher than that. This is quite important to remember. So you could if you were like, okay, this looks interesting, you could pop it in here and just note down that the highest bid right now is 0.2, and then we'll come back to that later on. But that's just a quick analysis you can do. Then let's go to the next one. Let's look at the bids as well. They're coming in at 0.715, a little bit higher, some of it, a lot of different people bidding. So I like to just take the highest bid I can see, because I want to make sure that when I do my analysis, I will actually win everything. So 0.744. Let's put that in there. Let's do a last one just to kind of wrap things up a little bit. Creeps. Let's go in and see the bids. You can see the bids are coming in quite low compared to the floor price. If you were to win anything at 1.9 and relist it at 2.9, you're going to make a lot of money. Trust me. So this is a really good sign for me to see. So I can put that in here just as my last one, and I will note down that the bids are, what was it? Let's say 2 Ethereum. That's the highest right now. So now you want to see, can I even make profit if I was to beat these? And are these floor prices, are the floor prices for these stable enough? I mean, you could technically add another field in here called floor price right now, if you wanted to have that. Like, for example, I just remember it was 2.9 here. So let's check out if these collections will do well over the next few hours or the next few days as well. So you can you just copy paste the name into any of your tools. It's pretty easy. Well, let's just go to the dashboard and let's open this one as well. See if it will load. Not every tool has all the collections. You can see this one actually doesn't have the collection we're looking for. Let's see if this is not listed in here. Oh, it's here. It's just called something else, I believe. Yeah. Great. So yeah, sometimes when you use the tools, they're called something else than what they're called on OpenSea, and it can be a little confusing. Is this the right one? Let's just check it. Yeah, I think it's the right one. But in here, anyway, we can see it's the right one as well. And you can always check it by opening up OpenSea to see if it's the same. And we can see it's the same. Great. So the floor price, let's see here. Last 7 days is what I really like to look at as well. And we can see that it has a little momentum up and a little push down. This is a pretty good sign for me, meaning that it's pretty stable. We can see here a few days ago it was way lower. So if we're bidding in a shorter burst, like a few hours, then we should be fine. But on the long term, we can see that it did go down a little bit. So we got to be careful. We don't want to submit bids that are too long. But anyway, we never do that. So it shouldn't be an issue. The thing is, when you submit a bid, I only want you to submit a bid for 1 to 3 hours. And the floor is stable enough to not react crazy for such a period. So it's fine enough to bid on this one. Plus, we're gonna leave enough profit in there for the floor price to drop and still be fine. By the way, in here you can see the royalty fee as well to see if you're making a profit or not. That's pretty useful. So let's say we want to go ahead with creeps. We can see that the floor price is stable enough. It went down a little bit, but it's not much, and it generally is seeing some momentum again, which is really good. We also like to go in under numbers listed and see, the numbers went down like crazy and then up a little bit. Usually you want to see the numbers go down because the less that are listed, the more the price is going to go up. So that's just something for you to keep in mind as well. And if you look into Nansen as well, you can actually, I love this one, individual transactions. You can just see where it's moving. And actually, according to this, we can see that the price is going up, which is a really bullish sign, obviously. It is also an amazing tool here to see if what you want to sell, if it's liquid enough. And we can see it's definitely liquid enough. If we go under hodlers, we can see that the people that are holding it for 1 day, it's about 4% of the addresses, and for 7 days, 8%. These are pretty good signs. Usually I like to target something over 3% in 1 day and over 7% in 7 days. This means that there are people selling all the time. And if it's very, very low, you're just never going to win anything. So that's really good. Not much else in here. We can see Diamond's hand those are falling, but that's not really a concern for us right now. So next step is we're just going to say, how much can we bid? We know that the highest bid right now is 2. We know the floor price 2.9. If we want to outbid it, we definitely want to submit a bid for higher than 2. Otherwise, you're not going to win anything. Go into this. These guys actually made an amazing profit calculator. And you can put in, I think, most collections in here. You can actually just put in. So if our bid was, let's say, 2.1, we would have a profit of 0.48 ETH. So that's a pretty healthy profit. And there's even room in here for the floor price to go down a little bit. We could also bid 2.2, would still be in a very healthy spot. I like to bid super aggressively because I don't want to be outbid immediately by other bidders. And the more aggressive you are, the higher the chance that other bidders won't submit a new bid to outbid you because your range is higher than their range. They're not willing to bid that high. So I would probably bid 2.2 and have my ceiling be 2.3, 2.4. And because even if I bid 2.4 in the worst case, I'm still going to make a little bit of money. Nice little flip. I'll probably do 2.2 to 2.35, something like that. So how would that look inside of our tool? You go in here, you put your wallet, and then you put 2.2 and 2.35 as your highest. We'll just outbid by that amount. That's fine. And the expiration time, we'll just put like 2 hours and see how that goes. And then we're going to bid on all the tokens. And our expected sales price is 2.9 because that's what it is. And then if you wanted to launch that, you just click save and back. And it's going to start bidding. Obviously, I don't have the right collection. This was just to show you. But if I wanted to bid on that, it's so easy. I just have to scrape the collection first. I don't know if I've scraped that one in the past, but it takes a few minutes. I just go in here. And I put in this new collection, save and back. And now it's going to start scraping it. It'll take like 2-3 minutes to scrape the tokens, and then it'll be ready to go. Once it's ready to go, it will be, it will show up under bidding here in my drop down. Right here, the collection will show up and you can launch your bid, and then it's easy. And then after you've done that, you're going to submit your bids. You could submit multiple threads, meaning that you could say, you know what, I'm going to speed things up. So in the first bid, I'm only going to bid on token 1 to 3,000. And then you could launch another bid right after from 3,001 to 6,000. And you could then launch another bid afterwards from 6,000 to 9,000 or whatever you wanted to do. And that way you have 3 bots bidding at the same time, which would dramatically speed up setting your bids. And I really recommend that. In our bronze tier, you have, 4 threads. So you can set up 4 bots at the same time bidding on the same collection. And you can divide up the tokens like this so that they don't bid on the same tokens. Put your expiration time to 2 hours. And, within like an hour or so, you will have a bid on every single token in the collection. And you just come back every 2 hours to your computer. You're going to click on this button right here. It says rebid, and it will remember all your settings, and you just have to put in your new bid. Now, let's say that the floor price has gone down to 2.8, and you want to adjust your bids down a little bit. Maybe we don't want to bid so aggressively. Now we're going to go down to like 2.1 as our minimum, and maximum 2.2 as our maximum, right? So look up only the same amount. Then you just put in your new expected sales price, save and back, and it's going to run again. And you're going to do that with all your threads so that you will keep your bid up at all times. So that's my favorite strategy for just flipping the floor, finding collections that are super easy to flip, where there is a profit to be made. Because sometimes you will find a collection where people are already bidding so close to the profit point, break even point, where there's zero profit to be made, right? And just a little tip here in the end, flips.finance is amazing to find really good collections to bid on. What you can go in, you go in here, click on 24 hours, 7 days, try them both, and put into 24 hours floor price change. And obviously there's some that goes up a lot. I would probably avoid all those and look at ones that are just between 15% up and down to zero. Those are the ones where people will accept bids. Because if you bid on anything up here, people are too greedy. They're like, oh my God, things are going up so much. I need to keep holding my NFT to gain more profit, right? So don't do that. Make sure that you take something less than 15, 20% and down to around zero. And once you find something you like the floor price, check it out. Check out if the price is stable, because you don't want to bid on something that's too volatile. Here we can actually see it had a top off and down, but the whole market basically looks like this in the last week. But actually has been very stable in the last few days, and it's actually going up a little bit. You look at holders looks really good as well, and listings are going down. So this is an amazing opportunity to bid on Deadfellas. It's super stable, and all the numbers are showing up really well. So that's a really great way for you to find collections to bid on. It's basically my favorite way to do it. Another thing you can do is click on 1-day delistings or 7 days delistings, to be honest. And if you filter by green, so it shows the collections with less things listed, then you're basically going to find collections where people are bullish on them and they are not listing, they're buying them and they're not listing them again. So there's a good hint of things that are really, people are getting excited about. So it's another way for you to find good collections. Now, the reason that I'm also saying this is because, you might be flipping, but you could also flip something, and then within the time you have flipped something or you won something, when the floor price has gone up 10%, 20%. And that means a lot, to be honest. So I'm just trying to show you what collections that, will be able to yield you an even better result. So I hope this helps, guys. This is just an easy way to flip NFTs, and I've done over 100 flips this way and made a lot of money. And with our tool, NFT Handshake, it has never been easier. So hopefully this helps. See you.